Hello. Queerly. Hello. Welcome to Saturday. It sure has been a minute since I've been here on a Saturday. I used to try to do a Saturday morning thing, but that became untenable after a while. So here we are on a Saturday at the normal time, which is another odd thing. Uh, I have some rice on the go because I think we're going to attempt. Got a few things set up. I did not put together a tier list this time. I feel like tier lists work when there's lots of options. We have 9, so I think just a straight up ranking is called for in this case. But we can rank them on different criteria. I don't have a written rubric. I didn't put together a written rubric. Um, I do have some things I want to test for each one, though. So we will attempt to go through, and I should probably take some notes. One of the factors is price. So I've noted down the price of them all. They're all over here. A little bit of nori ready to go on the side. And that we're going to fry them in that little pan, one at a time. I don't want to risk them flavoring each other. Get a true honest test. Otherwise, yeah, that's going to be the plan. I don't know what kind of time frame we're looking at for this. The rice just gave me its timer. I won't need the rice right away because we're going to taste them as is first. Before I attempt to make anything out of them. I'm just thinking. I'm going to want a sauce down the line, but not right away. I've also got the chair. You can't see the chair. The back of the chair is too low to see. I've got the kitchen chair back. I used this for the sriracha taste test, and we still have it because it is convenient height for kitcheneering. I still have this light off because the thing was flickering. And what's causing here now is that this is trying to light adjust. So there's a little bit of a flicker happening that I can see in the camera that's not happening in real life. So that's also annoying, but less annoying to me, so we're going to live with it. Also, over here on the main thing, the light looks fine. And that's where the most of our event is happening, is over here. Here are our canned meats. Here are our contenders. They came in three form factors: the standard can, the skinny can, which is taller, and the mini can, which we only got one of, which also is the only one that came with a key. Our original Spam. I did mark down the price I paid for these on the cans. Some of them very cheap, some of them shockingly expensive for basically being Spam. But we definitely should start with the original. I will note the original is the only one to add fancy flourishes to their can, and they're the only one to use this unusual double wide pop ring. All the rest of these guys that use the same size can have also used exactly the same packaging, so that from the top you can't even tell which one's which. The only one that even has a slight difference is this one, where the indent in front of the pull tab is slightly deeper. These are some kind of spotting on the exterior. But they definitely had different prices. So we'll get to those. I think Here's the thing. The one I'm most interested in is this one, which is the meatless one. The only other one of these I've ever had is this one, which is Armour brand, which is another long-standing American canned meat brand, which also is the cheapest by a long shot. It beat the dollar store ones. It even beat Walmart by 10 cents. Which is interesting. It's the only one I had, and I can tell you I don't like it as much as original Spam. I'll try not to let that color my opinions too much. And then this one is the Odd Duck. It's the only one in a small can. It's the only one with a key. It's the cheapest one by far, but it's a 7-ounce tin. So price per amount you get is, first of all, annoying to compare, but the rest of them, let me do the math. Let me do that right now. It's a 7-ounce tin. So bringing it in line with everybody else, it would be in the $2.60 range. So it puts it in the bottom three, but it is still beat in terms of price by Armour and Walmart. I have high hopes. I'm chit-chatting a bit at the beginning here to eat up some time because I know people are going to trickle in. So I'm doing some chit-chat right at the start before we get into it too much. I have high hopes for Walmart because I know Walmart's house brand is surprisingly good at a surprising number of things. And this seems like the kind of thing that they should nail. I should compare nutrition as well. I assume that they're all the same. They all have 180 calorie. Ooh. Goya has significantly less calories than the other ones, which is the same as Palm. Oh, and Armour has even significantly less calories than that. And they're on par with the meatless one. Fascinating. And then Celebrity Luncheon Loaf. This one is from the Dollar Tree. This is Dollar Tree's brand. This is Dollar Store's brand. You can spam whenever you want, Woof. Hi, Woof. Hello. Also, Bob, I see you there, being not first. So this is the one I'm most interested in because the price at $4 is the same as actual Spam. And that is very unusual for meatless versions of things to be the same price. It's actually cheaper than quite a few of these other ones. So if it's good, and this is the kind of thing where it has a good chance of nailing the brief, of not being... A lot of meatless things don't live up to the original thing when done in a side-by-side comparison. But we should. I also had a very light lunch today, so I'm hungry. But we should get started. Nice, easy, open on the Spam original. Immediate, strong Spam smell. Smells meaty, smells like artificial smoke a little bit. Do I want to do this on the wood? How many do we have? We have a total of 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the one we just opened, Spam Original 9. I'm going to show you guys something a little embarrassing. Remember I made the chicken on Monday? I marinated it. It left a horrific orange stain on my nylon cutting board that doesn't come off. I scrubbed the heck out of it. I don't know how to get that off. I'll probably have to scrub it with vinegar to get it to move. It's probably because I dissolved the hot sauce, which has a dye in it, into buttermilk, and then it got on this thing. Anyways, we're going to use the non-stained side rather than the wood. So the way I know to get these guys out of here, and this will be my other taste test, is part of the test is the ease of getting them out of the containers. Ease of getting it out of the container. Spam immediately loses a point. The bottom of this loaf is not loafy. We're doing all 9 tonight. Yes, we're doing all 9 right now. I feel like a center slice would be the fairest test, but we're going to give it a tester as is. This type of meat product is ready to eat right out the tin, so we're going to cut a little piece off and taste. Tastes like Spam. Again, this one is the one that is the most known. Savory, not overly salty despite the very high sodium content of the thing. Oop. Some dribbly juice. It's got a very fake ham taste to it. You know what? There's a reason Spam Original has been around so long. It's darn good. It just kind of tastes like generic meat. It tastes generically meat. That slice is probably a little bit thicker than I should go. So I'm actually going to trim it down. That's the rice. We're going to be using rice later. And we'll be eating Spam all week. Next week. Because once you've got the stuff out of the can, it stops being super shelf stable. But we are going to then slide over here, heat up our pan. We're going to cook them all in the same pan, one at a time. You might not make them in. I don't know how long this is going to take. The first one is taking 15 minutes because there's some chit chat. We're going to do some cooking, I think, toward the end. Is why I made the rice. Scribbles and notebook. Spam tastes like meat. Yes. Spam, in fact, does have a generically meat-like taste. I think its genericness is in its advantage because it goes well in lots of things. We want to test how well these things fry up. And I won't be oiling the pan because there's that tiny one lone fruit fly has been buzzing around today. So hopefully he stays clear or dies of Spam poisoning. or land somewhere that I can actually get him, because he's just been kind of drifting around. But anyways, these things are quite fatty. Total fat per 2 ounces in this 12-ounce can is 16 grams. Oh, man. Tell you what, I'm going to grab a glass and put water in it. I'm going to predict... I already have a glass. No. I'm going to predict that I'm going to want some water. Some water. I can point out the differences. These things actually don't have that many ingredients. You'd think they'd have a ton of ingredients, but they don't really. So regular Spam, pork, salt, water, potato starch, sugar, and sodium nitrate. And the sodium nitrate is definitely the thing that is the worst for you. But like, it's not even flavored. Mom, hello. No, you have not missed too much. We have opened only one at the start. Let me shout out Mom. We have only opened one. I'm getting this pan heated because we're going to fry that one, and that one that we've opened is original Spam. And I've been just chit-chatting and talking about it. Spam should, in my opinion, be fatty enough that it can be fried naked like that. Now, if this one, this being the original, doesn't work the way I remember it working, where it renders into its own pan, gets like crusty on the bottom, then maybe we'll try putting oil in a pan or using a nonstick. But I think this is how I remember doing Spam, which is just in a dry pan, and it renders its own fat. We could switch to a cast iron if this doesn't work as well. It also doesn't need to be screaming hot. And yeah, it's actually impressive how few ingredients there are. And none of these ingredients are flavoring. It just tastes like pork. I'll note as we go through. The one that has the greatest difference is obviously going to be the meatless one that has no pork. And that did exactly what I remember it doing. It adheres just a little bit, but if you let it form a crust, it pops off. So you don't need to add oil to a pan to fry Spam. You just need to make sure that it doesn't fry too hot or fry too... You want to make sure to let it sit there until it forms that crust that you can see right there. While that's going, I'm actually going to put the remainder back into its own tin. But yeah, we're just getting rolling. I didn't want to start out with anything crazy because I don't want people to miss the start with crazy of the crazy. Because I expect there to be some pretty serious differences between these when we get down to them. That's what it's going to be. And we're going to be wiping off the cutting board, the knife, and that pan in between each one to avoid cross-contaminating our Spams. Let's see how he looks. He looks good, both sides. Bring him back over, move that pan to avoid burning. Now this is how I actually cook my Spam. When I do, I like that toasty surface and I like it hot. A nice little crisp surface, steaming hot. Glistening interior from the fat rendering out. It does significantly change the flavor. Part of why it browns up so nicely is, as I read, sugar, but also the potato starch. Those both help it form a nice brown crust. So it makes it taste, frying it up makes it taste a little, let's do it direct. Let's do it direct. It makes it taste fattier. I think what it's doing is it's causing the fats in there to render out, so then you're tasting them more as it hits your tongue. It's not really making it taste meatier, and it's not bringing out any, it's not really bringing out any more new flavors. I think it's making it taste richer, though. But really what it does is it gives you that crisp surface, and the texture of regular Spam is very, it's firm but soft. It doesn't put up a fight at all. The crisp surface puts up just a little bit of resistance. Makes it feel like you're eating something more. It's also much nicer warm. The warmth, warming it through, even without frying it crisp, I think warming it through improves the taste quite a lot. Kind of wakes up the flavors. I wouldn't add any salt to that. And that's original Spam. I don't really have a rating for it. What we're going to do is kind of rank them against each other. I've got some nori handy on the side over here because I'm going to try something later. And I've got paper towel handy on the side over here because we're going to keep making sure not to cross-contaminate. Because I imagine the flavors here are going to be very similar, but not so similar as to be indistinguishable. But if we let them cross over too much, then we're going to run into a case of you're tasting the previous thing. So, which brings the question, which one do you want to try next? I think I want to try the meatless one next because I'm most curious to do a direct comparison between it and original Spam. Because I think, as it is the same price as Spam, if this one ends up being good, that is very impressive. If it ends up being very similar to regular Spam, that is very impressive. It's got some sort of eggs in it. No, those are fat granules. It is much harder to open than original Spam. It looks like the fat. So the way you get jelly in your regular Spam, This one has little white granules. Let's see, our ingredients here are water, soy protein, palm olein, that's going to be what those guys are, potato starch, onion, methyl cellulose, white pepper, wheat gluten, fiber, just says plant-derived fiber. That's a terrifying ingredient. Sugar, yeast extract, potassium, salt, and red yeast rice. Fascinating. It smells much sweeter than Spam. It smells like a... Oh, it reminds me of something. Oh, what does it remind me of? It smells meaty, but it smells much sweeter. It almost... It smells like teriyaki beef jerky. Like a cheap teriyaki beef jerky. That's what this smells like. Flex the can to get it separated from the sides and get it out of there. Hoo-hoo, it looks gnarly. It has a bit of a gnarly look to it. It does in fact say you can eat it straight, so we're gonna eat it straight. I will say, it doesn't look as good as Spam. They've managed to take Spam and make it look slightly worse. But the taste is king. We're gonna do the same thing where I shave. Ooh, it's very solid. Oh, but like not smooth on the inside. Interesting. Interesting. It's not nearly as smooth on the inside, but it's very, very like solid, almost springy. Let's have a little nibble, as is. There's the fruit fly. Oh, I lost him. It's got a bounce to it. It's not dry. I know it looks dry. The interior looks dry. It is not dry. If anything, at uncooked, it's moister than original Spam. It's got a bounce to it that is definitely coming from the wheat gluten. It's got that kind of a almost seitan bounce to it. It doesn't taste of meat. But it doesn't not taste meaty. It's got that, like, can't quite put your finger on what animal that is character to it. It definitely has more sweetness than regular Spam. It reminds me of a, like, very light teriyaki flavor. It looks gnarly. I hope that this white stuff melts when you heat it. But what that white stuff is for sure is the palm olein, which is being put in here as a fat adding agent. I don't hate it. I will say it is not as good as original Spam, but it is not that far off. It probably competes with some of the worse actual meat ones. Spam, for all its reputation, actually makes a good quality and consistent product. Not everyone likes the product, but in terms of what it is doing a good job at that. Let's slide him back into his can. Ooh, the goop kind of scrapes off the side when you slide him into the can. Oh, and there's a lot of it is on the board too. We're going back to the stove. And we're going to see how well this guy fries up. He might stick. I have a strong inkling that this one might stick to the pan. I'm actually going to give it an advantage. I'm going to give it its own advantage by just scraping up some of the white stuff, which immediately melts in the pan, proving to me that that is in fact what that is. That is the palm olein that they used to make it fattier in the way that pork is fattier. I did not wait for the pan to heat up this time, which is probably not good for my scientific method. I will say, for impressions at this stage, if you are on a meatless diet, vegan, vegetarian, and you want something like a Spam, this is not a bad choice. It is not doing a terrible job. I've had some meatless alternative things where, man, you just don't bother with the meatless and just eat a different thing that doesn't contain meat. Don't try to make pretend meat work. There are some things that just don't work. This one's not bad. This one doesn't offend me. Don't know that I would choose it over the original, which is kind of a shame because I was really hopeful that this one just nailed it, because I've occasionally had a meatless thing that just, usually heavily processed, that just about nails the original. There was one, I don't know how well back you guys will remember it, but there was a frozen one of these. It was frozen because it was pre-sliced, and it was like that because I have no doubt it would not survive the canning process to actually make a loaf. But taste-wise, it nailed Spam. It was way more expensive than Spam. You got less of it for about twice the price. But in terms of flavor, they nailed it. I was super impressed with that one. And that company no longer is carried at any of my local grocery stores, so I could not try it out as part of this. It also could not be eaten raw out of the can. It had to be cooked. So it didn't fully fit the brief for being a Spam. This one is producing quite a lot of fat in the pan, which is good for our... Man, I should have eaten some more lunch. Oh, good thing I got rice. Good thing I got rice for this. Ooh, it smells... Ooh, it smells really good. Ooh, actually... Don't stick, don't stick, don't stick. Ooh, he's... Of all the ones that will stick, this is the one that has the greatest risk. Ooh, and it only stuck a little bit. We're not getting as nice of a crust, but it is frying up and it only stuck just a tiny, tiny bit. Crazy Asian, hello! We are indeed cooking for science. This is the one that I was the most curious about. I wanted to do as direct a comparison to original Spam as I could, and this one is the meatless one. It is a combination of soy and wheat protein. It did stick a little bit, but it's rendering out quite a lot of its own fat into the pan, so I did not need to fat the pan, which is good. That's one tick in favor of Spam. It smells really good. Doesn't smell very strong, but it smells like, oh, what does it smell like? It smells a distinct, What does that smell? What am I smelling? Oh, there's one fruit fly in here. There is a meatless Spam alternative. It is this one, Unmeat. And what had me the most curious about it is that it is the same price for the same size can as actual Spam, which had me super hopeful that if it ends up being good, you can get a meatless one that doesn't even cost extra. The thing I want most from my meatless alternative things is for them to be good enough that a meat eater would choose them, either because that they're competing on price or because they're just really, really good. I didn't expect this one to be really, really good in terms of like you go out of your way to eat it, but I did think that it had a decent chance of being comparable, and at the same price point, that's pretty good. It's not giving as good of a crust. It smells really good. It does want to stick to the pan. I think if you cook this in a non-stick, you wouldn't have any issue with that. I am going out of my way to cook it in a dry stainless pan. It did color up really nicely. It looks way better cooked than raw. It's a little bit far away. The sides are still kind of soft, but the fried surface crisped up really well. Definitely not as smooth. So frying it firmed it up a lot, which confirms to me that a major component, despite it being so low on the list, a major component of the structure of this is Satan. Hail Satan. Because it did exactly what Satan does when you cook it, and it really firmed up. It tastes more like cooked Spam when it's cooked than it did like raw Spam when it was raw. So if you want to fry your Spam, it's a much milder... Hail Satan. Happy Pride. It's a much milder flavor. Again, I'm going to do a comparison right here with the real thing. Spam tastes very spammy. This stuff, it's chewier. It tastes much less salty. Oh, and it is actually much less salty. It has about a third of the salt content of Spam, which is another selling point in its favor, I think. Spam is too salty sometimes. Just looking at the other guy's salt content. Most of these are quite high in salt. The smell doesn't fully translate to the taste, but it does taste really good. It tastes, the sweetness has been brought out. I like it. I like it a lot more. The difference between raw spam and cooked spam is not as big as the difference here between this stuff raw and this stuff cooked. This stuff raw is kind of gnarly. This stuff cooked is actually pretty darn good. It doesn't quite taste like spam, and it's got that sort of firm texture. Jay, hi Jay. We're on the second one. I've got original spam up here for on-the-fly comparisons, but we're currently working on the meatless one, which is the one I was the most curious about. Again, it's not quite exactly like spam. These flavor elements are so subtle. It did brown up really nice. It didn't really stick to the pan. It stuck a little bit. You can see the crusting on my spatula. So it stuck a little bit. I think this one would be really good in things that you would use spam in. I think this one would make a really good musubi. I think this one would make a really good Korean stew. It tastes meatish. It's savory like meat is, but I couldn't tell you what animal it comes from. It's that kind of meat flavor. You wouldn't be fooled to think that this is spam, but you probably would be fooled to think this is some kind of meat. The texture even is kind of just like overworked meat, if you've ever had that, like a really firm sausage. I like it. It's like a really firm sausage. It's sweet. It doesn't taste vegetably at all. It doesn't have any, like, I've had some of those meat alternative things that you can really taste that it's got plants in it. This one does not. It doesn't necessarily taste exactly like any particular meat, but it has that. It's very meatish, meatishly. But no, it definitely doesn't have a secret plant taste to it. I don't eat a ton of spam, but I will definitely keep that one on in mind. And it's especially, once again, the whole taste test was triggered by me seeing that one and seeing that it's the same price as regular spam for the same size can, which is unheard of in meatless alternatives. Which one should we try next? I'm going to wipe out the pan. I picked the first alternative one. Which one should we try next? We've got the store brand ones. The store brand ones, the one with the key, versus our actual competing name brands over here. I feel like we should save Palm for last because it's the premium one. It has the most chance of doing something interesting. You guys, think about it. Sell me on the next one. I'm gonna clean out the pan. Because that one did stick just a little bit, just a teeny bit. Two votes for celebrity with the key. This is the Dollar Tree store brand. if we kick off with this one, then I think we're going to do the store brand ones, and then we're going to hit the name brand ones. Bob wants us to go Armor. I will say Armor is the only other one of these that I've actually tried. And it is also the cheapest one. Not counting the fact that this is a tiny can. We calculated this one up. This one comes out to be more expensive than that. Armor is the least expensive one at $2.20 for this can. But yeah, let's go with... So I've got the name brand ones over there and the store brand ones over here. And the weird one, Celebrity Luncheon Loaf with the key. It's the only one of these that had a key. Regular Spam, I know, used to have a key back in the day. It destroys your nutrition facts when you open it with the key. I'm honestly kind of surprised that the Dollar Tree one still uses the key, because I think they have to go out of their way to get cans with a key at this stage. The Pop Tops are just so ubiquitous, they have to be the cheaper option. But that's how, if you've never seen a key can before, that's how a key can works. It's got the key, it's got a little tab, you just hook the tab with the thing and you twist and it goes all the way around. That used to be the standard before they invented these pop-top things. And Spam, old cans of Spam, still have that. And then the tricky bit is that the stuff tends to want to stick to the can on one end. And also, be careful. This edge is literally razor sharp. This is dangerous. This is the main reason this got phased out in favor of the Pop Tops. That is a dangerous edge. I guess I'm going to leave it attached. It reminds me more of corned beef, not just because of the key, but because the fat is solid around the top, as opposed to the jelly you get from Spam, which honestly reminds me more of the fake one. The fruit fly's back. Take a slice. It's a little coarser than Spam. Whoa! 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 That one is weird. Not salty. The thing that hit me first is the taste of celery. It hit me with celery right up front. Let me read the ingredients. Let me read the ingredients to you, because I didn't read them in advance. Ingredients. Pork. Good start. Good start. Pork plasma. Pork rind. Starch. Pork fat. Salt. Sodium caseinate derived from milk. Sodium triphosphate, sugar, dextrose, sodium ascorbate, onion extract, flavoring, sodium nitrate. Product of Denmark. Ingredient number 2 was pork plasma, which, unless I am greatly mistaken, I don't think it's that. I think it's the other kind of plasma. I think it's the liquid part of pork blood after they've taken the blood part out of it. The taste on this thing is weird. Therion, hello. Yes, a pork blood product. I'm fine with eating blood. Long tradition of eating blood all around the world. This does not taste like blood. This tastes, strangely, like celery. Natural protein-rich ingredient derived from the blood of pigs. Emphasized healthy, but you know, unhealthy pigs have plasma too. Yeah, that's exactly what other than the drying it into a powder, that's exactly what I thought it was. Because they sell, you can buy coagulated pork blood, which is just the red part glopped together for other recipes. The texture is much coarser than real Spam, or this thing. But the tenderness is similar to Spam. What's weird, it has a very upfront celery flavor. And it's way less meat tasting than either of these, but far less than Spam. Bizarre. My sodium content was torn off. They lined up the sodium content so it would get torn off by the coil. It doesn't taste as salty as Spam. We're gonna fry that up. We're gonna fry that up and see what it does, what it do. There's no celery in the ingredients. One of the ingredients is flavoring. So I have to assume it's something in that. But it's a strange one. I can't say I like it as much as Spam, but that might just be because it is so different. I'm surprised at how different it is. I would have assumed, maybe I'm wrong. I guess I assumed that all of these lunch and loaf things were attempting to mimic Spam as the original. But maybe I'm wrong. I know what I should be doing. Is covering the extra bits. You wouldn't consider luncheon meats as Spam. See, I consider them to be very similar to Spam because they clearly ape the form factor and just general look. And they're all pork based. And they all show themselves being used in the same way as Spam. Maybe I'm mistaken. I just assumed. And the meatless one clearly was trying to be Spam. I believe before I tore it off, it said 630 on this can. It's sizzled up real nice. Oh, and it is rendering quite a bit of fat very fast as well. I mean, I like Spam, and I'm curious to compare these guys to each other. I especially think that the Walmart one is going to want to be just directly mimicking Spam, because that's what the Walmart customers will most associate it with. I've looked at deviled ham and I've never picked it up. I have tried Armor Brand potted meat and I did not like that one. But I've also had Armor Brand Vienna sausages and I thought those were pretty good. So the potted meat was probably just my personal taste. This one smells real gnarly on the cook too, and it is sticking something fierce. It's sticking a lot more than either of those first two did. Well, let's we might if I want to give everybody a fair shake. The sticking is something I wanted to test, but if we start getting a lot of sticking, I'm going to swap to a non-stick pan. Because I don't really want to tear these things up. Underwood deviled ham. I don't know if I've ever looked into the brands of deviled ham. Clearly is on top of nonsense. Well, it initially rendered out a good amount of fat, but then it started to stick, and it hasn't really given me any more fat since then. Although, oh, it doesn't smell very good either. That side crisped up okay and didn't stick too badly. I don't know, man. This one doesn't smell very good. Two things I noticed. One, it softened quite a lot while frying compared to firming up. And two, it doesn't smell good. It doesn't smell particularly good fried. I don't know. Tastes better than it smells, but it's lost the celery taste in cooking. It smells like oh, it smells bad. Like it doesn't smell spoiled. It smells wrong. doesn't taste like it smells, which is in its favor. Well, part of the test is regular Spam can be thrown in the pan dry and it fries up. So I was comparing these to that. I did get out the nonstick. Um, I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one. I don't think it's very good. I'm having a hard time describing it. There's very little character to it. It doesn't taste awful, but it doesn't taste good. It tastes it tastes like very little. And it has a kind of a weird aftertaste that it reminds me of the weird smell. I think that's a nope. I think that one's a big old noper from me. Just gonna put the lid back on that one and slide it over there. I think that one's a no. I think that one's... No, I don't think it would be good in a sushi roll where things are buried out. Because I think you would... It's not bringing the elements that you'd expect Spam to bring to that. It's just... Ugh. Sniper Angel, hello. What we are spamming is Spam. There is the original. We are doing a taste test. I've got 9 competing brands of these pink loafs in a can. So far, we have tried 3 of them. Original Spam as the standard. The meatless one did a good job. And then we just tried the dollar store one, and I think, despite it being fun and cute with its little key, I think it's bad. I think it's just actually bad. I wasn't going to give these guys scores. Flamingo, hi. I wasn't going to give these guys scores because there's only 9 of them to put 9 things on a tier list. I was just going to straight up side-by-side comparison them. So far, Celebrity Luncheon Loaf is in last place with unmeat luncheon meat nipping at Original Spam's heels in terms of just being a decently quality product. So I was just gonna go. If we had scores, this one is an F. It's just gnarly. Okay, onward and upward, onward and upward. Let's try the one that I think is going to be attempting to mimic Spam more closely, which is Great Value Luncheon Meat. In part because the ingredients really remind me of the original. Pork, salt, water, sugar, sodium phosphate, spices, sodium erythrobate, and sodium nitrate. No additional binders, they're just salty meat. It is Walmart brand. Ooh, nice easy open. Boy, it looks real gnarly in there. But it was a nice easy open can. I will give it that. Whew. Whew. It smells very similar to actual Spam. It didn't quite come out in one go. It has that same sort of It has that same sort of juicy schleam that Spam has, the jelly, as they say. Um, the top part looks real gnarly, and it's got this like these pale yellowish bits to it that don't look super good. Um, it's doing the best job in terms of smell so far. We're gonna take the bottom. I'm gonna go with the bottom because the top is a little gnarly. Ooh, it looks better on the inside. It's very coarse ground, but like solid. Gnarly and juicy, yes. And then we're going to cut a slab and a taster. It doesn't have as good of a form as original. Right, Jay? Great value. Sometimes absolutely knocks it out of the park, and sometimes is just god awful. It's much softer than Spam. It's much softer than Spam. I feel like I could almost spread this. It gives me no fight in my teeth at all. I can see coarse bits to it. Can't tell you they're there. Is it fattier than Spam? The taste is very similar to original OG Spam. It is exactly the same amount of fat as Spam. It is exactly the same amount of calories as Spam. It is got more salt than Spam. That's concerning. In terms of ingredients, pork, salt, water, potato starch, sugar, ports. There's no potato starch in this. There's no binder of any kind in this. Pork, salt, water, sugar, sodium phosphate, spices, sodium erythrobrate, sodium nitrate. So the sodium erythrobrate, spices, and sodium phosphate are additional, but it has no potato starch. It's just meat and preservatives. Which, yeah, lack of binder, I can understand how it's maybe not got the greatest look to it. But yeah, no filler. Not that I think potato starch is a filler, but it is a binder that helps Spam form a nice shape. Let's fry it up. Do we think we can do it in the? I'm gonna keep trying to do them in the naked steel pan. Yeah, I didn't really look at the ingredients of any of these guys before I started. Pop over yonder. Wipe it down. Yeah, it should be plenty fatty to fry up in its own drippings the way Spam does. I just hope it doesn't get any softer. It's softer than Spam now. Like it raw is softer than Spam raw. Now that doesn't necessarily mean anything because that celebrity luncheon loaf got softer when I cooked it, which is a little strange for meat to do. Get that guy warming up. My phone just went deedly-dee. Why did you go deedly-dee? Nothing. It was nothing. It was a big old nothing. Big old nothing burger. I am cooking. So the Spam itself, I started this guy on 6. For all the other ones since then, I have actually had it down at 5 because I felt like it was a little bit too hot. The first piece of Spam smoked a little, and I didn't want these to be smoking hot. So I opted to go for a little bit lower after that first one smoked. Nice little sizzle. A nice little sizzle. Let's, while that's getting started, get the remainder back into its can. Using a lot of paper towels today. Recanning the Spam. Yeah, I mean, typically you want to use it once you've got it open. It tasted like Spam, but the texture was off. It looks like it's rendering some fat, not a ton. You heard the moo can noise. It does give a little farty sound when it goes back in the can. Spam hash. Now, regular Spam, that is definitely one of the things I've done with it. Chop it up real small. Chop it up real small. Fry it until it starts to get some color on it. Throw that in with some eggs and some onions and some peppers. Now, original Spam also stuck a little bit, but then let go with just a small amount of coaxing. Which Celebrity Luncheon Loaf, yeah, which is what this guy did. Celebrity Luncheon Loaf did not. Celebrity Luncheon Loaf kind of went weird. I might give this one a second flip because I want to get the outside a good crisp. But so far, this one is behaving well. My concern with no binder is that it might soften in cooking to the point where it can't be flipped and it just tears apart. Potential preview of things to come with the only other one of them that I've tried. I tell you, the ingredients on some of these are definitely different. Definitely not the same. More than a few of them have chicken in them. Okay, there's the all pork ones, and then there's the other ones. That one stuck just a tiny bit. It's not browning. Now, without the potato starch, it's not going to form as nice of a crust. That's kind of unavoidable. we can still get some decent browning on the surface. Yeah, I was just looking ahead at the ingredients. I guess you'll have to wait and see. That is something I've seen in hot dogs lately. This one is not getting nearly as much color as the other ones. It is definitely getting a tiny bit of color, but not nearly as much. Nope. Starting to catch up. It does, so it's browning much slower. Which isn't a terrible thing. And it's really, like, I can just push it around. So it's, so far, doing the best in terms of, there we go, in terms of not sticking. It's just browning much more slowly than the other ones did, which is resulting in it being in the pan longer as I look for that same kind of browning. But I don't think we're going to get the crisp surface because some of that is the sugars and starches crisping up. So far, it's looking promising, other than it looking quite gnarly when it was right out the can. Okay, let's... how bad could it be? Well, Celebrity is probably as bad as I think we're going to get. In general. Let's just pick that guy up. He rendered quite a bit of fat. He rendered out quite a bit of fat, actually. It didn't smell like anything in particular while I was cooking it. Mmm. Mmm. It's, well, initial but, ooh, it's salty. The crisp is not nearly as good as any of the good ones. I think it's even got less of a crisp on the surface than the Celebrity one did. So the outer crisp really is nothing to speak of. It's very juicy, though. It's very, like, moist and rendered out. The flavor is good. It's like slightly milder than the Spam original, which I can do a quick compare. It's very similar, but it's slightly milder. But it's much mechanically. It's much juicier, but it's also salty. The taste initially is quite good, but it definitely tastes saltier than Spam cooked. I think if you used this in something, it would work really well. It is concerning that it is saltier than Spam. Yeah, thank you for the moisten. Moist. I like it. Do I like it more or less than the meatless one? The meatless one is so different. I think I like it less than the meatless one because it is saltier. It kind of is too much. Boy, the meatless one, as I went back to it, the fact that it's different and it has that sweetness to it really kind of makes it stand out. I think Walmart did a good job. I think Walmart did a good job. The meatless one is so interesting. So fascinating. Should we keep going with the store brand ones? Because we've got Kroger and Dollar Store's very own Clover Valley. That one is likely to be terrible because I have never had a Clover Valley version of anything that I thought was even close to as good as the original. Finish on the potentially better ones over there. Pork, salt, water, sugar, sodium phosphate, spices, sodium erythrate, sodium nitrate. That is the same ingredient list as Walmart. Again, no binder in Kroger. And Clover Valley is likewise exactly the same. Ingredient list. Nice, easy open. It looks the most like Spam. It still has that kind of underfilled side, but it certainly looks the most like Spam aside from that. Came out neatly. Snagged a little bit on the can. Has that same, boy, this looks so similar to the Walmart one. And it costs slightly more, so Walmart and Kroger, are you guys the same store? Because it sure looks the same. Boy, it sure tastes the same. Boy, that is the most the samest. Those ridges are present inside the can. those lines are a weird can impression. That is so much the same. That is so exactly the same as the last one that I believe Walmart and Kroger are using the same supplier. That's how exactly the same that is. Um, did you actually look up that the same manufacturer made both? Um, Because that's what it seems like to me. That they are the same thing with the different brand logo on the thing. I guess I'll turn the heat to the same and see how if this one fries up any better. They really seem identical to me. So I guess good thing I tried those back to back. The Kroger one is a slightly better fill on the can, but that might just be variation for this one particular one. Uh, get our pan nice and hot. Well, actually, we can check because they have canning. They put canning info on these. Distributed by Kroger Co. It doesn't have any. It doesn't have a canning company on the label. Inspected by the Department of Agriculture. Good sizzle. Oh, I know what it looks like. You can kind of tell what it looks like uncooked by looking at how they end up in the can because they're pouring it in and then they're sealing it and then they're cooking the can. And sometimes you can see like the spout. um, yeah, pink slime. I'm aware of pink slime. It's got a very accurate name. That's how you make chicken nuggets too, like McDonald's style. That stuff's also a pink slime. I'm trying to eat not a ton of each one of these. I am going to make something for real at the end of this out of our winner. I think. Moist. Thank you for the moisten. I do need to keep it with the water. There's a lot of salt in this stuff, especially since some of these have now been saltier than Spam. This one also more salt than Spam has. And I'm pretty sure it's because of the addition of those sodium erythorbate and sodium phosphate. We're getting more sodium because of those additions. Neither of those are in OG Spam. I think he's actually crisping up a little bit better than the Walmart one did. I have high hopes that I didn't waste my money on Palm brand because it's the most expensive one by a large margin. And it's less salty than Spam and significantly less calories. Likely because it's also less fatty. So it may have difficulty frying. Yeah. This one is, near as I can tell, identical to the Walmart one. It has no binders. It has an exact same ingredient list. It has the exact same nutrition facts. So the only thing I can think is maybe I have the pan at a slightly different temperature. If I'm running the pan ever so slightly hotter, then that would help it crisp just ever so slightly faster. Because the dial is just a dial. But yeah, thus far this one seems to be browning ever so slightly better than the Walmart one. And it was also better formed in the can. Now this one is crisping much better. So yeah, it's also giving me a little bit of smoke. So maybe I just have the pan slightly hotter. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Lots more color on this one. I'm going to probably chalk that up to user error. Just imprecision on my imprecision on my stove dials. We're hot. I don't know that I can tell the difference. It's a little bit less juicy, but that might also be a case of I didn't spend quite as much time in the pan, so it didn't render out quite as much. It tastes exactly the same. I'm going to say that those are a perfect tie because any differences I can attribute to slight differences in the cook. I think they're using the same supplier, guys, and just sticking their own label on the outside of the thing. I'm putting those as an actual tie. They're fine. They're cheaper than Spam. I think if you're including them in a recipe that uses Spam, you won't really notice the difference. They're both a bit softer than Spam, and they don't crisp up quite as well. And I'm going to say that that's because of the lack of the binding starch. Based on my slight difference between them, I would say you want to cook them hotter to get that crisp to form better. Let's go to the one that I think has the least chance at the moment. Clover Valley Luncheon Meat. Now, if they're the same supplier again, then I would also not get this one because it's more expensive than either of those. It has pork, salt, water, sugar, sodium phosphate, spices, sodium erythorbate, and sodium nitrate. Exactly the same ingredient list. Exactly the same nutrition label. It looks the same again. I bet it got lines too. And if it's exactly the same, then why is the dollar store charging more for the same product than Walmart? Boy, does it look the same. Got them lines. The inside of the can is the same can. It's got them lines. It smells the same. Very spammy. Ooh, boy, I'm going to need a vegetable after this. We might speed through this one because I'm getting a notion here. Boy, is that the same again. I will say, for all three of these, they're pretty good unfried. But it's got that same gnarly look as the Walmart one. I think all the budget ones are just... Yeah, I'm pretty sure all the budget brands are literally the same brand. So we're gonna speed through. We're gonna speed through this one because I think this is the same again. It's good to know the budget brands that all look the same are, in fact, the same. In that case, get the Walmart one because the Walmart one is cheaper and is identicaler. I did not wait for that one to heat up before I threw it in there. I have apparently little respect for this. I will say, this is the only Clover Valley branded product I've ever had that lived up to the thing it was trying to imitate. Mostly by being exactly the same. So that's impressive. Yeah, sponsor me, Walmart. I'll make food out of your food. Walmart. Mm. I haven't even eaten. Oh, boy, it's getting to my brain. I haven't even eaten half of each one of these slices in the taste test, and I feel the salt creeping up on me. If this one doesn't taste significantly different, I'm not gonna take a second nibble of it. We're just gonna say it's the same and call it a day. And move on to the more interesting ones. Armor is going to be different. Get out some foil. And cut. If Walmart wanted to sponsor me, I would go to their store, take their products as part of my sponsorship deal. The dollar store one, the one we're looking at now, is product of the USA, according to the label. Whereas the Celebrity Luncheon Loaf was product of Denmark. I only got those two because when I went to the Dollar General, the third dollar store in my town, they did not have a store brand of canned pork loaf. So I could not get one to compare. But yeah, the Celebrity Luncheon Loaf said on the can product of Denmark. And that was, so far, the most significantly different one we had. It was all bad. The differences were all bad, but it was the most different. Oh, this guy has released... Now, I didn't fully heat up the pan before I threw this guy in. So far, Spam is in the lead, but the meatless Spam is nipping at its heels, not because it is doing a really good job of mimicking it, but because it is doing a good job of just being a spammy meatloaf thing that tastes interesting and good. This one is again, I didn't heat the pan up as much when I started this one, so it's probably going to cook a little bit weird again. But it didn't stick. It released just like the past two did, just like Spam Original did. So far, the only one that has had any sort of significant sticking issues was Celebrity Luncheon Loaf. We are just cooking a whole bunch of pink slabs today, aren't we? Okay, after this one, we're going to move on to Armor. That's going to be the first of the alternative name brand ones that we try. And then since I want to end on Palm, we are going to go to Goya after that. Goya is kind of a name brand. Goya is an everything brand. I'm sure you're all familiar with Goya. They practically have their own entire aisle to themselves. Goya everything. So I I'm hesitant to call them a name brand because they are making just a billion things. I know Bimbo is huge, but you know, I never see Bimbo products in the US. I'm sure there's somewhere in the US, but in Wisconsin, I never see them. I know it's a huge brand. Um, Goya makes all the canned stuff, but they also make tons of bottled stuff. They make so many of everything. Um, I would have gotten Bimbo if it was available in my area, and it was not. You know, I think this guy's browning a little bit better than the first one. What's a Bimbo? um, it is a large packaged food brand on the scale of Goya, on the scale of Hormel. Probably not quite as big as Hormel. It has a large presence in certain parts of the world. I know it has a large presence in Central America. Okay, back to this guy. He fried up real nice. Pretty even. Pretty even browning compared to those last two. Like, the last one had really spotty spotting. Pretty good on that side. But again, that might be because I'm just getting better at cooking them as I go. It cut the same. It smells the same. It looks the same. Does it taste the same? I think it tastes the same, guys. Brain cell. Hi. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Man, it tastes the same. That is the same. Okay, those three were the same. Okay, don't get the dollar store one because it's the same as the Walmart one and costs more. So I guess I can rank them because they're the same thing, but they're at three different price points. So the one that costs more is the worst one because it's the same thing. Yeah, I mean, all the cans are fairly similar. When I read the ingredients and they were word for word identical, and the nutrition facts were word for word identical. Oh no, there's a difference because they cost different amounts. So there is an actual measurable difference. They're not just a tie. No two things are a perfect tie here. There's a difference between every single one. I will say I was am very impressed by the meatless one. Armor, the other classic old time canned meat thing. These are the guys that make Vienna sausages in the can. These are the guys that make potted meat. These are the guys that make chipped beef, which is unaffordable these days. Traditional baked ham taste. Luncheon loaf with chicken and pork. Smoke flavor added. Treat. Treat is on my list. Yes, Armor Treat. It is also the only one other than the meatless one that is in the slightly taller, slightly skinnier can. And it is the only one with this design in the can pop, this feathered thing. It is the cheapest one. I mentioned this at the very beginning. The cheapest one. Technically, it's more expensive than the Celebrity Luncheon Loaf, but that was a half-size can. This is the least expensive one. And it is also the only other one that I had tried before today. Ooh, and the can is weird. It did not do the thing I was expecting it to do, and it broke there instead of... Oh my God, it's the hardest one to open because I think the can tab failed. Oh, I got it. Okay. It certainly doesn't look the same. It... Do not use can opener on this end. It was difficult to open. I got it open, but it was definitely the hardest one to open. Slightly harder than the meatless one, which was the same shape can. So I think these cans, inferior cans. You want the wide one with the corner tab. They're much easier to open. Ooh, there's some juice in there. Ooh. He doesn't want to come out. Got him, got him, got him. Okay. It's different. It certainly is different. I'm going to cut a slab off and then get our internal slab. Overall, a much darker pink. It also, I didn't mention it, smells... You know what it smells like? It smells like the meatless one did when the meatless one was raw. We'll see what's in here. Ingredient number 1. Mechanically separated chicken. Then water. Pork, salt, sugar, corn syrup, modified cornstarch, potassium salt, brown sugar, hydrolyzed corn, soy and wheat protein, barley flour, malted barley flour, canola oil, sodium erythrobate, natural flavor, natural smoke flavor, separate ingredient, sodium nitrate, sodium phosphate, caramel color. Boy! It is the lowest calorie count, lowest fat content, and not the lowest sodium content among these things. It is the highest sugar content, though. And I think it has the lowest protein count. I gotta look at the meatless one. Meatless one. It has the same protein as the meatless one, and the same fat content. But it's much saltier. And it has the same carb content as the meatless one. There you go. The first three ingredients are mechanically separated chicken, then water, then pork. And then it does have sugar and corn syrup as separate ingredients. So it's sweetened. And it has binders in the form of cornstarch. Oh, it has. Okay, I misread this part. It's hydrolyzed corn protein, hydrolyzed soy protein, and hydrolyzed wheat protein. It has 3 hydrolyzed proteins, which, if you're familiar with stuff, oh no, this isn't. Cheap soy sauce is made with hydrolyzed soy protein instead of brewed soy. I don't have the cheap stuff. I thought that one was made with hydrolyzed wheat, but that also is not. Let's. It's very soft. It's so soft that I slipped my. Oh, it's so soft. The texture is a little bit weird, but the flavor is remarkably similar to the meatless one. I think the meatless one based its flavor profile on this. But this is very soft by comparison. But with like little gritty bits in it. Not gritty, that's the wrong word. Little bits that have resistance. They're not hard, but they like resist, but just in little tiny bits. Heat our pan up. Have some water. Oh my god, the salt is catching up to me. Oh my god. And yes, I know what mechanically separated chicken is. Mechanically separated chicken is literally the pink slime. You make it by after you've taken all the usable chicken bits off of a chicken carcass. They run the thing through a centrifuge, and all the soft material flies off into a paste. And then they take the bones, do something else with them, and they scrape that paste off, and that's what you make chicken nuggets out of. Gonna get that heated up. The armor is very soft. I am concerned this one may disintegrate. Not 100% certain on this one. It's soft enough that I feel like if I push on it, I could squish it into a paste. Which is a little concerning. Hopefully it firms up a little bit when we fry it, because if it don't, then it's probably going to disintegrate in the pan. It gave me a nice sizzle. Oh, it gave us a nice little sizzle at least. But let's see how she works. They put color in this, which means that it was probably concerningly pale. I'm guessing that the product as it comes out the factory, or as it comes out the thing, is concerningly pale. So they mix in some brown to make it a little bit of a darker color, because they add color to this one. That's a little strange. Yes, this is meat byproducts. And a bunch of stuff. This has the longest ingredient list among all of these, including the fake meat one. Well, caramel color, I have a bottle of caramel color. This stuff. It's not 100% caramel color, but the first ingredient is caramel color. And the second ingredient is water. There's more caramel color in this than there is water. Because caramel color does have a flavor. And that flavor is like caramel, like burnt sugar. Now, I doubt there's enough of it in here to do that, but don't count out caramel color as just a coloring. It's the only coloring that I know has actual flavor. Oh, you guys were over there. It's doing the thing. It's doing the thing. It's crusting up. So it's Browning's. The Browning sauce is not the same as pure caramel color because it has other things after caramel color. It's got vegetable stock base and salt. But the first ingredient is caramel color ahead of water, which tells you how much of it is in there. Jen, hi. So far, Spam Original is in the lead, with the meatless Spam close on its heels. This stuff, this is Armor Treat, which I don't want to burn. Armor Treat is reminding me a lot of the meatless one. But how's it going, Jen? Oh, I didn't even put it back in the can before I did that part. I got distracted. Distraction. So the one we're working on now is this one, which has the most ingredients, the longest ingredient list. It is the only one that is the first ingredient is chicken. It is also the only one with artificial coloring in it. I mean, if you took somebody to the store and asked, "Is this spam?" they would say, "Yeah, that's off-brand spam." Um, oh, oh, it's soft though. It's a, it's a soft one. It's a soft one, guys. Oh, it doesn't smell. So it it tasted similar to the meatless one. It smelled similar to the meatless one. But now that I've cooked it, it does not smell similar to the meatless one. It also did not firm up. Unlike the meatless one, which did firm up quite a bit when I cooked it. Glacier, hello. Wow. Oh, thank you, Glacier. I'm dying of thirst here. Oh, moist. Moist. Thank you. It's a summery. It's a summery shirt. Um, Armor Treat is the softest by a huge margin when cooked in the cooked form. The browning on the surface, no crisp, no crispy surface at all. Visible browning, no crispiness, just soft. It has a similar flavor profile to the meatless one, but is much saltier. I tasted this. Yeah, I did. I tasted this one first. We're past that. We've done that. We did that before I fried it. Um, it's it's much saltier than the meatless one. It's very soft. Um, it tastes saltier than original spam. I don't know that it actually is. Let's find out. Interestingly, spam has it's actually less salty than original spam. Huh. It's noticeably less salty than original spam. Um, the bargain store brand ones were all more salty than original spam. This one is less salty but tastes saltier. I think this one's better unfried. I don't think it actually is all that good as a fried thing. I think this is the. No, I would say that the celebrity also got worse when I fried it. I would say celebrity also got worse when I fried it. This one I think got worse when I fried it, but not as bad. I think it's just not as good. Celebrity got significantly worse when I fried it and started out pretty bad. Um, but yeah, I don't think you want to fry this one. I think. What is this? I mean, they just have a picture of it on a grilled cheese sandwich. Mm. To serve hot, slice, treat, and pan fry until browned on both sides, or microwave on high for 2.5 to 4 minutes, or bake at 425 for 10 to 12 minutes. Um, Fully cooked, ready to eat, enjoy hot or cold. I think because it has a sweetness to it, similar to the unmeat one, when it's not cooked, that it loses in its cooked form. I'm not microwaving this. I want. I almost think that you should cook this in a way where it's not touching the pan. Like, put it inside of a sandwich and then griddle the whole sandwich so it's heated through, but it doesn't have the. Because it's not benefiting from. It's not developing a crispy texture. So it's not really benefiting from being directly on the pan. Um, but I think if you did like in the picture, this is a grilled cheese sandwich with this stuff inside of it. I think if you put it inside of a grilled cheese sandwich like that and then fried the whole thing, that would work. Because it would still get heated through and, render some of its juicy bits. I think the cooked unmeat is better in large part, in bigly part, because the cooked unmeat firms up a lot and it makes it feel more like you're eating a piece of meat. Whereas this stuff is soft, soft, soft. And it really makes you feel like you're eating processed meat goop. I will say I think Armour is doing a pretty okay job. I just think frying this is the wrong treatment for it. I wonder if air frying would be better. I wonder if... I mean, I'm hesitant to try microwaving it, because that sounds awful. It definitely had a lot of the goop, the jelly, compared to the other ones. I would say it is better than unmeat before you fry it, but not as good as unmeat after you fry it. And I think unmeat is improved by frying, and I think treat is disimproved by frying. So I guess that means I'm going to give it just behind unmeat. It's tough because they're doing different things. It's not a 1-to-1. If I was in hardship times, I would get Armour treat and eat it out of the can cold with a spoon. To keep myself from starving to death. I guess that's not a very ringing endorsement. Let's try Goya. The chicken one is more red. The chicken one also it had artificial color in it. Well, not artificial color. It had caramel color in it. The color can't be accurately assessed because they added color to it. Anyways, Goya. I got some nori. What I've actually got is some rice over here. Mmm. Mmm. Something that's not salty meat. Well, Jen, part of what we're doing here is seeing if there's one that you should be trying besides original spam. I dropped some of my rice. I'm going to pick that up real quick before I forget about it. Overall, this is better than the hot sauces, than the srirachas, because there's not so many of them. I think I enjoyed the srirachas more at the beginning, but it got real tough to keep going toward the end. So far, the winner in the lead is Original Spam. Original Spam. But right on its heels is 100% plant-based unmeat. Also, hi, GS Erebus. Hello, welcome. The meatless one is right on the heels, and it's doing something different, and I rewarded srirachas that did something different and did it well, as opposed to just tried to mimic the thing. The meatless one's pretty good. We have a cluster. We have two left to taste. They're two name brands. Three of our entrants are in a literal tie because I'm pretty sure they came from the same producer and the stores just put their labels on them. And that's our Walmart brand one, our Kroger brand one, and our dollar store brand one. That are just the same dang thing. And I ranked them below Armour brand. So our top three are, so far, with two left to taste, Spam Original, the meatless one, and Armour. And I ranked Armour down because it got worse when I fried it, which is strange. And then I currently have it slightly above the three identical ones. But I'm not sure if it deserves to be above the three identical ones. And then there's an enormous gulf, vast expanse, and then there's this one, Celebrity Luncheon Loaf. This one was actively bad. I didn't like it. I tried to figure out how I could like it, and I just don't like it. So I think that one's the only one that's bad, and that is Dollar Tree's house brand. But we are now cracking into Goya. Goya should be a good competitor. I've been retasting them all along. That's why I've got them lined up here like this. I've been cutting extra little bits off and doing side-by-side comparisons and stuff. Constant retasting. Because I want to get a good measure. Wow! Goya's is the fullest. It's so full that the tab kind of gouged into it. There was no space. It smells very spammy. It's a very similar shade of pink to Original Spam. That is to say, it looks nicer than the bargain brand ones. But it's also super full. And hard to get out. Bob, alert. It has the ridges again. But it's super full by comparison. But it does have the ridges again. The three identical ones all had the ridges. So maybe they're all buying theirs from Goya. It's got that coarse texture. Okay, it is not the same. It does not taste the same. Okay, ingredients. Number one ingredient is pork, but number two ingredient is mechanically separated chicken. Then water, salt, spices, sugar, sodium phosphate, sodium erythorbate, sodium nitrate. Chef! Chef, hello! Very different taste. It is much milder in flavor, probably because a chunk of it is being taken up by chicken. But it doesn't have the binders and all of that vegetable protein that they put in the Armour one to bulk it out. Oh, you think that's a lot of things? Armour had by far the most ingredients, including the fake meat one, which usually have a lot of ingredients. What are my thoughts so far? So far, our ranking is we've got Spam Original in the lead, followed by the meatless one, followed by Armour. Armour's in, I think, a questionable spot. That might get knocked down. And then we've got a three-way tie for all the store bargain brand ones. Walmart brand, Kroger brand, and dollar store brand are identical. Identical. Perfectly identical nutrition facts, perfectly identical ingredient list. They came in the same can. They all tasted the same as well. They're just the same, near as I can tell. Of the three of those, Walmart brand, that's great value, is the best one because it is the cheapest one, and that is the only difference between them is the price. The Armour one, I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. The Armour one tasted better than the meatless one before I fried them, but tasted significantly worse than after I fried them. But yeah, there's a meatless one. And the Denmark one, this one, Celebrity Lunch and Loaf, this was the Dollar Tree brand one. When it was uncooked, tasted like celery, which is very strange because there's no celery in the ingredients. And after I cooked it, tasted like very bad. Which isn't an improvement because it's very bad. This one has me intrigued. So far, it's milder than any of the full pork ones. It's also, okay, here's something that makes me unhappy with Goya. This one is a pork and chicken blend. Pork first, chicken second. It costs more than the all pork ones. You guys make friends now. Be nice. we're gonna fry this guy up. We're sliding over to the stove. We've been using the same pan. I've got the, we might not have, unless Palm is a really bizarre case, we're not gonna end up using the nonstick. All of these have successfully fried in the regular, just naked steel pan, which was the test I wanted to do because I know that Spam fries up in a bare steel pan just fine. We are using the same pan. I'm wiping it out in between uses. Leberkas. I don't think I've had that, but I imagine it is a canned meat product. I like Spam. It's very salty. Eating it the way I'm eating it today is not recommended. I will say the Goya one, all three of the discount brand ones were softer than regular Spam. Armor, much softer than regular Spam. The meatless one was softer than regular Spam. It wasn't actually. It got firmer when you fried it. This one has the same texture as regular Spam. It's got that solidness to it. Now, if I remember back, the raw meatless one had a very solid texture as well. This one has a very solid texture to it, like Spam. It's milder. Let's compare our ingredient with our nutrition label. It's got significantly less calories, less fat, less salt, more protein, and less sugar. So Goya, of all people, is putting out the healthier version? Strange. Strange and bizarre. Unexpected and weird. Let's slide Goya back into his can. Back in there. Oh, Bob, my throat is so dry. My throat is so dry. Oh. Oh, moist. Thank you for the moisten, Bob. Let's see how this guy looks. Ooh. He released. He's browning weird. He's developed stripes. That's a weird way to do that. For science. I will have probably eaten half a can of Spam by the end of this. That one's a little weird. It's also not rendering out very much fat, which I guess I should not be surprised by because this is less fatty than regular Spam. What is the clattering noise? It's like the neighbors are moving. But it looks like they're moving in, but they already moved in, so. Oh, Flamingo, no. We have to eat all of this Spam before it goes off. I'll be eating Spam for a week. Every meal. I'm gonna die of salt poisoning. This guy's misbehaving. He's not sticking. That side went a little bit better. I will have high blood pressure after this. Mark my words. Don't worry, we only have one more after this. Plus the secret bonus can. Oops, did I let slip about the secret bonus can? Bob's going to have to avert his eyes for the secret bonus can. Yes, they have to yeah, they have to mow at 5:30 p.m. on Mondays only. Boy, this one does not want to brown evenly. There is an actual... I am intending to actually make a meal at the end of this. But there is a secret bonus can. And it is, I guarantee, not what any of you are expecting. I'll get it out. I'll get it out and slide it in the corner there. We have rice and nori, and we can... I was going to try to make a musubi or something. I guess I'm giving up on this one. It doesn't want to brown any more than that. I'm not going to burn it, so... Now we got to do the full taste-a-roo. It's Saturday. We never get to see you guys on Saturday. Got to do something special. I had to work today. This is the kind of thing I do after work, because I don't have to plan it out. I can just do nonsense. It looks dry on the inside. Interesting. I like it. Fried, it tastes almost exactly like Spam. The texture's a little off. It's definitely... It's slightly milder. It's slightly less flavorful than Spam, but it's the same flavor. It's just less of it. And it's softer, which is interesting because it was quite firm, uncooked. It's softened up. It's doing a really good imitation of Spam. It reminds me of turkey Spam, is what it actually reminds me of. Ah, but that meatless one is so interesting. A dilemma. The meatless one is just so interesting and doing such a good job at being a meatless alternative. I think I'm going to put it ahead of Armour. I think I'm going to give it third at the moment. Put it ahead of Armour. It is more expensive than the other ones. I can't say it's a good alternative to Spam because it's essentially less flavorful Spam that costs more. But it is also less fatty, less salty, and has more protein than the original Spam. So in that regard, it's slightly less bad for you as well. Huh. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that Goya did that. I will say the meatless one, as it's cooled off, has become slightly squeaky. Recommend eating that one hot, not letting it cool back down. Last can. Palm brand luncheon meat. I got this one at the Asian market. It is by far the most expensive one. It's $7. $2 more than the Goya, which is the second most expensive one, at $5. Slightly difficult to open can, but not massively difficult. It looks largely the same. It smells very different. Pork, mechanically separated chicken, water, salt, spices, sugar, sodium phosphate, smoke flavoring, sodium erythorbate, sodium nitrate. Smells. You know what it smells like? It smells like smoke. It smells like artificial smoke. I have terrible news, Bob. I have terrible news, Bob. It's got ridges. It's got the same old ridges. They used the same can. A very even loaf, though. Very, very good fill. Not that sort of lumpy thing. Looks good. None of those discolored spots. Ooh. A soft, but firm. Soft but firm. Texture is very similar. I am definitely tasting liquid smoke. But you know what? Liquid smoke mixed into this kind of processed meat is actually really good. I'm using the second slice because I want flat surfaces for the pan on both sides. And although this one was really good, a lot of them are lumpy on the top. So I wanted a nice smooth surface for when I put it in the pan. Also, the first slice has a lot of the goo. That's also a fair point. But I've been using the second slice for all of them because I want nice, flat sides on the piece that I put in the frying pan. It gives it a little bit of a baconiness, which I think is cheating. Oh, it's got the same nutrition breakdown as Goya. I think the smoke brings out the sweetness a little bit. Oh, this one's from New Zealand. Auckland, New Zealand. So far, it's ranking quite highly. It's got a good texture. It's got a good flavor. I think it's doing what Goya was trying to do, but slightly better. They definitely put their own thing in this one. This isn't just the same meat in a can. It tastes distinctly different. It's honestly giving me the same vibes as the meatless one in that it is doing something different with the idea rather than just trying to be Spam. And it's doing a pretty good job at it. But I'm wondering if I'm just being spoiled, if my palate's just being spoiled by the smoke flavor, because the smoke flavor is the first time I've tasted something distinctly different since the meatless one. And I suppose since the celebrity luncheon meat, which was real bad. I have definitely not been completely fair on the pan. We have fried a few of these hotter than others. I take the pan off the hot coil in between, and then I wipe out the drippings from the previous one, but I haven't been really super careful about the pan. Hey, good thing I was hungry when we started this. Let's get Palm back in its can. Ooh, that one was a very tight fit, and it gave a little shoo when it went back in the can. Well, I mean, the same problem we had with the sriracha taste test. The same problem we had with the sriracha taste test. It just don't care enough. Oh god, this is our first taste test since the sriracha taste test. The sriracha taste test nearly killed me. 40 something bottles of sriracha was too many. Too many. We've still got most of them. Nice sizzle. Wipe down our pan. I don't know. I think this one, I can't say. We have to factor in price on these as well. If you're looking for Spam, you're usually looking for something cheap. I mean, we did, in fact, find the winner Where's mine? I've got so many random bottles of Sriracha. There's one there. There's one there. There's a whole shelf of them down there. But we did, in fact, find a winner from the Srirachas, and that was the Yellowbird. It was the only one that put in both doing something different and doing it well, which gets you a lot of points in my book, and just a cracking good flavor. The winner from our Sriracha taste test, the only one that got an S ranking. There were some other contenders in A with the original Hui Fong, but that Yellowbird was real good. That stuff delivered. I have looked at a few things. Frozen fries. There's too many things. There's too many. I looked at chicken nuggets. There's too many. I looked at oatmeal because Ryuya once suggested trying it with instant oatmeals. There's not enough. Unless I go for flavors. But if I'm just comparing brands, there's only like 3. This piece is not rendering out very much fat, and as a result is having a hard time browning. Now, I've been scouting for things to do taste tests with, and I worked out that there was a reasonable number of them in Spams. I don't think I'm actually going to eat all of these cans of Spam before they start to go off. There's just quite a lot here. But I've been looking. And I haven't. It's got to be something where there's enough different ones to have decent comparison. Now, the Spams, it turned out that 3 of them were the same one. So that wasn't so good. But like, I looked at popcorn. Do you know how many brands of popcorn there are? Fear not, Erebus. I will weep for you if you disappear. I looked at popcorn. Tons of popcorn. This one, yeah. Yes, Bob. This one does not want a brown. That's for sure. For sure. So I don't know. I keep scouting. If you guys come across something that you think would be a good hit, a good bet, I did just notice one. I did just spot one, and it's pepperoni. There's not a ton of different brands doing pepperoni, but there's enough. And I think they might actually be different enough from each other to be worth testing. That's another thing. Sometimes the things aren't different enough. Like, there's different brands of flour, but I don't know that I could taste test the dang flours and actually tell you anything about them. This one does not want to brown very well. That is going to be my one mark about it. It is doing a browning in the similar way that the Goya one didn't want to brown. I do like salted meat. I definitely like salted meat. Um, I eat way too much salt, and most of it in the form of meat. Um, oh God, there's so many brands of bacon. We could do bacon, except I've already got a stock of bacon. But you know what? Even in my just random getting bacon out of the bargain bin, I can tell you that the bacons are wildly different from each other. There's a huge spectrum of difference in bacon, but there's also so freaking many of them. I'm pulling this one out because it is not browning very well, but it's starting to smoke. So that's the sign. So Palm does not want to brown very well. It is similar to Goya in that fashion. They're both our chicken pork blend ones. Ooh, it got very soft on the inside though. Oh, it got very soft. It got very soft. Mm. Decent crisp on the outside. Very soft interior. The salt comes out more when you cook it. And the smoke flavor is much milder cooked. I was very intrigued eating it straight. Some of that stuff has definitely escaped it, but I think it's better than Goya still. I think I like it better than Goya because of that little hint of smoke. Mm. The Goya one's good though. I like both of these. They're I am not actually within driving distance of Newski's on a regular basis. It is a solid 2 hours from where I live. What it is on the way between where I live now and where my parents live, where I grew up. So when I drive for a visit, it's on the way and I can stop there. Yeah, so I can pop in once every 6 months or so. That's where I got Wittenberg wieners. Chuck those in the freezer. I think this one is better than Goya, but just a little bit, just a smidge. I think it has a bigger advantage over Goya before you fry it. That smoke flavor really helps when it's the smoke flavor and the sweetness really help when it's not fried. But I think it loses some of that when you fry it up, but I still think it edges it out. I think that in a spam musubi, original spam, Palm brand, Goya brand, and any of the bargain store ones would work. I think the optimal ones for it would be original, yeah, original, Goya, and Palm brand. The meatless one I really like, but it is definitely the most different in terms of flavor other than the bad one. It still has our second place. It just has such an interesting, it's savory, it's meaty, it doesn't taste vegetably at all. It just doesn't taste porky, it just tastes meaty. It's got a little bit of a sweetness to it. It also, here's what really sets the meatless one apart. It tastes significantly less salty. All of these taste saltier when you cook them than when you eat them cold. Like they aren't salt. They aren't any saltier, but they taste saltier. It brings the saltiness out in them, which makes you really want to put them with something else that will help balance out that salt. This one tastes significantly less salty. I think they put in more of the. I think it's more sweetness. It's more sweetness balances it out. I gotta compare. I gotta compare these. Original Spam. That's original Spam. Goya. I'm glad I went back to original Spam to do a compare. Palm. Spam tastes very spammy. Palm tastes more like ham than Spam does. That's what's really giving it to me. It tastes more hammy because of the smoke. Now the original Spam has cooled down, and that is hurting its flavor a little bit. Original Spam and Goya are very, very similar to each other now that they've cooled down. I can't do that. I just moved some guys around. I can't do that. Rayuya, I would try this one. It is meatless. I really like that one. It looks like heck. It is one of the ugliest ones. It fries up real nice though. I think I'm doing that. I think we're doing that. I think I'm bumping unmeat down to 3. I'm going to stick palm at 2 and original spam at 1. But this is irrespective of the prices. I think palm gets knocked down. I think if we count prices, which I was also kind of including, palm costing almost twice what these other guys cost knocks it down back to where I originally had it. One of the big selling points of the meatless one, of the unmeat, is that it is not more expensive than Spam. If they all cost the same amount, first of all, the 3 you can't see over here would be tied because they are literally identical. Armor, I think armor would probably stay put. This guy would jump ahead of the meatless one if everyone cost the same. I think Goya is doing a good job at being a mimic of Spam, but it costs more, so you may as well just get Spam. Palm is doing something different, only a little bit, by adding some flavoring. Unmeat has successfully made a meat thing that fills the same role as Spam, but isn't just trying to copy the flavor. Which, again, that's what I rewarded Yellowbird for. But I don't think Unmeat is excelling the way Yellowbird did in being its own thing. It's good. I'll definitely keep it in mind and come back to it at some point. The fact that it's the same price is so good. Hey, we've got a bonus secret can. First place I've got Spam Original because that was the one I was using as the benchmark. And I don't think anybody beat the benchmark. I don't know that it's actually my favorite. God, these top 3 all have merits and could all be... Palm, Unmeat, and Spam are competing for the podium. These 3 are for sure podium. Goya is doing a good job of being a pretender to Spam, but because it is pretty much just being a pretender to Spam, I can't give it podium. Then Armor, which has some weird things going on. I'm tempted to bump Armor below the bargain store ones, except that it is so freaking cheap. And honestly, before I fried it, was pretty good. I don't like it fried. 3-way tie for down here because they're the same thing. And then Celebrity is trailing in a distant last place because it's just bad. That one was just bad, and I'm not even going to try to save it. That one's can is just going in the trash. I know that if I try to save it and do something else with it, I simply will not get to it before it goes moldy on me. So we're going to throw that one away. But wait, there's more. It's not Spam, though. It is a secret bonus can. I don't know when else I'll have the opportunity to try this. You guessed wrong. It's fish liver in the can. I want to try this. smoked cod liver in cod liver oil. And the ingredients are cod liver in oil, salt. Oop. Splatter my hand. I was very, very curious to see this one. I'm very, very curious. I want this to be good. And we're gonna try it. We're not gonna fry this one up. We're not gonna fry this one up. Let's get the Spam off my chopsticks. We're gonna taste it as is to start with. I will say, this stuff is the most caloric food I have ever seen. This tiny can, contains 780 calories in this tiny can. This stuff is ridiculous. It is as soft as butter. It is as soft as a pate. It tastes very similar to sardines, but much fattier. I actually quite like it. This tiny can is half my daily calories. It's interesting. It's not irony at all. It's not livery at all. It's fishy. It's like sardine fishy. If you don't like sardines, you won't like this. Fascinating. It's so soft. It's so soft that I can cut it with the chopsticks. It's supposed to be really good for you, according to itself. It's full of stuff. Vitamin D, potassium. Kind of just that. Vitamin D and potassium. I was curious to try this, and I wasn't sure when I was going to do it, and I wanted to taste test it with you guys. It's I'm not sure where I would use it in cooking. It's so soft. You'd like put it on crackers or something. Okay, well that's that taste tested. Spirit on the Spam. It's significantly less salty than the Spam. It's massively less salty than the Spam. But this can contains 100% of my daily value of cholesterol. So I probably should eat it very sparingly. Oop, I dropped a couple of frames. Are you guys still with me? Say anything at all if you're still with me. I dropped some frames just then. No? Nobody's with me? Jay's talking about cholesterol. Okay, you guys are still here. Okay, I dropped some frames and Twitch freaked out and said your thing is unstable. Hi Bob, we're finished taste testing the fish. That stuff definitely has a texture similar to Braunschweiger, but with the taste of fish. Everybody's here. Okay. Apparently there's a stream delay. Apparently there's a stream delay because Jay is responding slow. I did promise we were going to actually cook something at the end of all this. And I stand by that foolish promise. So, we're taking... Are we taking our winner? We're not taking our winner. We're doing our meatless. Because that's the one I think I most want to play around with. It is also just the gnarliest looking thing. We're making a thing. I'm making a thing. Is it sushi? No, I would explicitly call it not sushi. I also think because I've had quite a lot of meat today, the one I want is the one that's not meat because I've already had quite a lot of meat from all the rest of these. It's definitely also a factor. Join me here. I'm going to move the chair because now I'm going to stand up while I cook. We stand to cook. Oh boy, tell you what else I'm going to have after this is a soda because I need some sugar to counteract all this salt. Okay, frying pan. Heat on. Heat on. I'm going to give us, let's see this, walnut. No, this is the only one. We're opening a fresh sesame oil. We're going to use a little bit of sesame oil. So, are we making sushi? No, we're not making sushi. We're making gimbap. Is that similar to sushi? Yes. Okay, a little bit of sesame to help with our flavors. Our heat is on. We can't use that scraper because we're using the nonstick now. Let our sesame oil take the wheel. Fry up our thing. We're not making a real long one today. Gimbap. Eh. It's going to be an adventure of all that remainder. I tell you, it's not the flavor of Spam. And it's definitely the texture of seitan. Hail Satan. Or Satan Begone, whichever one you prefer. But it's good. I think it deserves its second place. Because it's real good. From hell's heart I stab at thee, Satan. They're definitely behaving differently in the presence of some actual frying oil. What number are we on? We are done. We have finished. We are now cooking up an actual dinner. We got through all 10 cans following the surprise secret bonus can, which I'm sure you're glad you missed because it was smoked fish liver as a surprise bonus. Satan during Pride. Our winner overall, I gave to Original Spam, but I'm acknowledging the Unmeat one and Palm Brand as our podium contenders, and I think argument could be made to switch them around. Argument could be made to switch them around. The Palm Brand one brings an interesting smokiness to it, and this one that we are currently frying up is what I ended up settling in at second place, the meatless one. Which I'm using here because I feel like I have had a little bit too much meat. And we're making a fun little end of the evening dish. I knew you wouldn't like the fish liver. Where's my rice paddle? Yes, the unmeat one is the same sticker price as original Spam, which it doesn't taste like Spam. It doesn't taste like plants though. It tastes meaty, just not like any specific meat. It was the one that intrigued me the most. I will definitely keep it in mind. I don't know that it fills quite the same role as Spam. Definitely has a lot more sweetness to it. What you really missed was that Walmart, Dollar Store, and Kroger have the same Spam. Identical. Come on. So we've fried it up in a little bit of, fine, you're going to flip over because you're not going to go. We fried it up in a little bit of sesame oil. I'm going to add just a smidge to the rice as well. No sense in wasting the drippings. And we have another corner to work with. I wish I had a cucumber. I did not pick up a cucumber for this. I have a very, very sad looking radish here. I'm going to cut it so you guys can't see it. I'm going to cut it so you guys can't see it. We could do monkfish. I ruined this radish. Fun part. I may have overfilled my layers a little bit, but my nori tor, my old nori tor as well. Well, film it from the other side. The nori was kind of old, and I left the rice on it for too long. But, oh, and I think I folded it wrong, because the rice is supposed to end up on the outside. Ta-da! A very basic little daikon and spam and rice gimbap, which is similar to sushi, but it is Korean, not Japanese. Kimchi, I think, would be the most bestest inclusion. I don't have kimchi. I wish I had pickled this daikon, but it still provides a nice fresh crunch to counteract the warm, salty spam. I definitely did that wrong. You're supposed to put the rice on and then fold it right away. So my thing tore because I left the rice on there too long and it sogged part of the nori out and then it tore. Did you eat acid? I don't know. Did you? You shouldn't. Gimbap is, I mean, it's Korean food. It is structured similar to sushi in that it uses nori and rice, but it uses Korean flavors. It's usually warm. It's I've never seen any raw fish ingredients. Um, as mentioned, this tiny can of cod liver in its own oil is half my daily calorie intake and 100% of my daily cholesterol intake. Am I going to chow down on all of these cooked half slabs? No. No is the answer. They are all going together in a bag. Because I have had plenty. We'll do it right now. They're all getting mixed together. That's the weird one. And this one is getting thrown away because it was very bad. I have seen it spelled both ways, Ryuya. I believe the issue is that the Korean letter that it comes from could be translated into either a G sound or a K sound. It is probably meant to be somewhere in between the two, but English lacks a letter for that, so people settle on one or the other. What's going to happen with the cooked ones is I'm going to probably dice them up, mix them together, dice them up, and make an omelet or something out of them. Or yeah, toss with some greens. Dice them up, mix them with something. I got the fruit fly just now. It's been all day. The remaining closed ones with their poorly fitted tops are going to gradually be eaten. Hopefully before any of them go off. They are very salty, and that helps them keep, but they don't keep forever once you've got the tops off, so... and that could use a little bit of vinegar. But that is our show for today. 3.5 hours. Glad I didn't plan anything elaborate to do at the end of it. We're just going to eat. I'm just going to eat that and enjoy myself. And I'm going to grab, like I said, a soda. So I have something sweet to balance out the insane salt levels that I've had all day. Spam stir fry is a thing. I've done all sorts of stuff with spam. We'll probably do something with spam on Monday because I have all this spam. If you want to see something specific with spam, something specific and interesting with spam, drop a line in the Discord. I'm gonna wrap us up. Because it's been a while and my throat is starting to hurt, both from the salt and from the constant talking. Let's see if anyone is on that I can raid to. I don't know who's on at this time on Saturdays. I mean, obviously there's channels on. LaFay is on. I haven't seen LaFay on in a while. So let's go see LaFay. Super special Saturday spam sorting session. There we go. is concluded. We are going to raid LeFay. LeFay's playing a game. The house always wins with Mr. Michael Venture himself. Uh, Raid messages have been dropped. I was looking ahead at my schedule. I have once again been given an overwhelming number of closing shifts, which means I can't do things like this on those days because I would, if I was closing today, I would not be home yet. I have talked to my manager and said maybe I can get a few less closing shifts. And he was like, "Oh, I didn't realize I was doing that." But then he scheduled me a bunch more closing shifts. I'd like to do a couple more of these type of after work things, but that's gonna depend on scheduling. So, yeah, no telling what's gonna happen there. But I'll be back on Monday, so see you then.